Come and dream with me.
Hello, welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together to talk about movies, TV, and online content and help you answer the question, has a film ever had as apt a tagline as War of the Worlds? It's worse than you think. Probably not. I'm your host, Ash Obley. Join me today, Dylan Blight.
Where did that movie come from?
I don't know. It's on Amazon Prime, so... But
right.
Even they weren't, like, advertising. You know? Like, obviously we get, like, press emails and stuff, like, about, like, every month you put together, like, your article of stuff that's coming to all the streaming services.
Wasn't in that.
Wasn't in that. Just shadow dropped out of nowhere, only to be panned by pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first place I saw it was a TikTok, someone making fun of it or something. So, yeah. Now, what's it, on 0% Rotten Tomatoes or something?
It was. I think maybe it's gone up. But, yeah. At least we know what's going to win the Raddies this year. You know, surely nothing could be worse than that. On today's episode, we'll be talking about what's in our watch history, going over some film news, giving thumbs to trailers, giving this week's top 3. Kicking things off, Dylan, why don't you talk to me about the big box office winner, and I'm guessing your favorite of the 3 movies that you watched this week? Weapons,
yeah, doing very well at the box office, eh? Yeah, so, yep, talk about it without spoiling it, you know? Got it. So Weapons is the new film from Zach Krieger? Is that it? Yeah. Which has a great, probably one of the best trailers in a long time. Just, you know, bunch of kids running outside their homes at 2:17 a.m. all doing like a goofy Naruto run. A goofy as in the skateboard term, meaning reverse. Arms out to the side or something. And I mean, that's how the movie starts. So you get like a tone straight away of just this opening of this film with all these kids from, you know, ring cams and stuff like that, just all running. And from the outset, you're like, what is going on here? And there's some narration. And what follows from there is a very... I didn't realize the film would play out this way, and it made for a very interesting direction for I guess, a horror film. It's not something you usually see. But it is split into character chapters. So each one gets a title card. We jump around the main cast. You see how what's happening in their life, and it's sort of that whole, like, you know, it all culminates then. But you get to see how these different characters affect one another. Julia Garner's the main character, I guess, and the one we introduced her first. She plays the teacher of the classroom where the kids, all but one kid, disappear, and she's being basically witch hunted by the town because they all think that she's the one behind it all, even though the police have said, you know, they can't find anything. We then jump to Josh Brolin's character next, who's the father of one of the missing kids, and he's just going for a very traumatic time, sleeping in his son's bed, and not allowing the police to just do their job, and instead basically taking matters into his own hands, being that guy who constantly jumps into the police station just asking for help all the time. Some other characters we get are Bandit Wong plays the principal of the school. Austin Abrams plays a local drug addict who's just being a nuisance, breaking people's homes, all things. Alden Ehrenreich plays a police officer. I think they're older. So they're the older characters we jump to, and then we also jump to, I can't find the actor's name really fast to be honest, but the only other character we jump to is the kid, the final one who's in the classroom. So the film jumps around to all these different characters throughout. What's that? 5-6 chapters. Yeah, and it's quite a fun movie, and even funny, which is I think in particular the ending, the last 15 minutes of the film, which to me was very funny, but in a way that was obviously meant to be funny, and it was sort of like after going through the film, it was the light at the end of the tunnel for how the events eventually played out. I could see some people, I don't know, who want a more straight, serious play off to the narrative of this to not appreciate it. I thought it was pretty fucking great. It is just so it's just right before the end, it's just like, yep, and just I can't even, it goes in an interesting direction. But I mean, amongst all that, you've got all these really great performances. Like Julia Garner's like really, really good in this, playing this traumatized person, and I mean, Josh Brolin's Josh Brolin, which is, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like it's just usual Josh Brolin. Austin Abrahams is a lot of fun as there's a scene where he like breaks into someone's home, and there may be something weird going on in the home as he's trying to basically burglarize it. That was quite a lot of fun as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting movie and goes to show that this genre still has a lot of fun in it. And I mean, he proved that with his last film, Barbarian, which was, it starts, yeah, it's like I can sort of see where this is going, and then next second you're like, I have no idea where I'm going with this movie at all. So, yeah, and I think like considering he has a comedy background within like his acting and earlier, although Zach Krieger's other stuff, like you see that bleed through into what he does. Whereas I guess Jordan Peele, you'd be like, he comedy background, but he's like, nah, fuck that.
You only get a couple of moments of levity.
Yeah, no, not here. This is it's a really good mix of just really out there horror. Like I don't think it's spoiler to say like this. There are like paranormal elements or whatever. If you want to like go say it without fully giving away what it is, but then yeah, it mixes in a lot of funny stuff as well. So
yeah, so scary or
no, I didn't. I personally didn't think it's scary. I think it's tense in times. You could watch this if we're putting on the scale of can Ash watch it. There would be like there'll be one or two scenes where you're sitting there doing the whole like, oh, this is quite tense.
Yeah, okay.
I don't watch horror movies, but there's no
like 28 years later.
Yeah, this is less tense than that.
Okay.
This is less tense. Like them being chased by big cock monsters and that is more tense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We need to work on our rating system. We need to nail it down. Are you surprised by the massive box office? Obviously, it was the big winner of the weekend. It's already amassed $70 million worldwide, and that's probably not accounting all territories. On a $38 million budget.
I think it's good to see in a world where quite often I'm like, is original movies, are they just going to fail box office? No one wants to see stuff. And then every now and then you get something like this that first week more than doubles its budget, and a lot of people turn up to watch it. So that's good. I think it's exciting. I think the promotion they did. I'm trying to think what studio it is.
It's New Line, which is technically Warner.
Warner, yeah. They've done a very good job, I think, marketing this, because all those trailers were very good.
All the trailers are very good. At the premiere, they're like a bunch of kids.
The creepy
kids at tables, yeah.
Yeah, which obviously gets a lot of social media reactions and stuff, so, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I think they did such a good job of, like, keeping so much mystery around the film that, you need to go see it. or horror fans felt obligated to go see it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good on them. Apparently, it has been a stellar year for Warner, because this is their 6th film in a row that's already opened at over $40 million, which I don't think a studio's done in a while. So, and again, another not only big horror movie, really well received horror movie, another original horror movie. So, I mean, horror movies saving cinema.
Yeah. All right. I mean, honestly, I reckon if you look, horror is currently the only genre, I reckon, where not consistently, but it is like an outset where it'll have an original movie that does well. Like, it does help that their budget's obviously smaller than all other movies, but if a horror movie does well, they usually do like well, And then what else do we look at? We just see a box office filled with superhero flick sequels,
Well,
rebirths, whatever.
horror fans support cinema.
The genre, yeah.
They go see movies in the cinema, you know.
Hmm.
All right, let's pivot to the other movie on your double feature, Freakier Friday.
So Freakier Friday is the... What do we call them again? Legacy? No, it's not. It's just
a sequel, right?
It's just a straight up sequel. Yeah, it's just a sequel.
You just set several years later.
Yeah, so it's 30 odd years later or whatever it is. Follow up to Freaky Friday, the Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis starring Disney film that was also a remake and based on the book, and it was actually the third version of the film, to be honest. But look, I think this movie was just sort of, from what I've read and everything, Jamie Lee Curtis was the one who pushed and basically got it through on Disney's side. But it also seems like she just sort of wanted to do it with Lindsay Lohan, and she's had this relationship with her because they met when obviously she was younger, and she wanted to sort of help give her a
career
revitalization boost, I guess. Yeah. But the premise of this one is that Lindsay Lohan's now grown up. She's got a child of her own. In the first 10-15 minutes, you see her meet Manny Jacinto's character, who she gets a classic meet cute, bumps into him at the school. They drop the book, sold the whole thing. You know, the dream. They meet. They love each other straight away. But the problem we have is that Lindsay Lohan's daughter is a surfer chick. You know, like sort of that vibe. And she does not get along at all with Manny Jacinto's daughter, who they've moved over from Paris, I think is where they've come from. And she's like a very posh, proper sort of girl. So they hate each other, and, you know, we then skip ahead 9 months, I think, right before when the wedding is about to happen. They still hate each other. They still, you know, never wish I was in a family. At the bachelorette party or something, this movie has 35, 40 minutes before we get to the actual body swapping stuff. But they then, you know, do the whole, there's another, whatever. The person who reads your palms.
Palm reader.
Palm reader, I don't know, but yeah. She's there, they set them off. Anyway, this time, instead of just Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis' character, her mum swapping bodies, it's also the two girls as well. So, how's it work? Manny Jacinto's character, that girl goes into Jamie Lee Curtis's body.
Mm-hmm.
Then Lindsay Lohan's daughter goes into Lindsay Lohan, and then they obviously swap to the opposite to them. So Lindsay Lohan's now in her daughter's body, and then Jamie Lee Curtis is in Manny Jacinto's daughter's body. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ensue hijinks. I think this movie works its best when they're being a little bit more silly. Like from the outset, there's a very funny scene where they're all in the mirror. You get to see Jamie Lee Curtis just having a great old time pretending to be this young girl. She's like, I have no lips, my skin is falling off, why is there so many wrinkles? Like, she's really just playing into the thing, and she does a very good job throughout that. She's the standout, and I think this is also a thing. Like, if this was meant to be Lindsay Lohan's sort of career live action, Jamie Lee Curtis just stands out in every scene she's in. She's on the floor crawling around. She's willing to do it all. And
she's bringing her everything everywhere all at once energy.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, she's here to have a good
game
time.
For anything.
She's willing to do anything, I think, for the bit. Lindsay Lohan has a lot of fun in that scene that you see in the trailer where she's like biting her lip and trying to impress her ex-boyfriend, but she needed more of that, because the rest of the film, Lindsay Lohan is kind of flat. She doesn't at all feel like the character or the sort of energy that she brought in the original. And that, I think, is what lets it down. The other weird thing is that the girls, Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis in the younger girls' bodies, those two actresses do a very good job, I think, of playing the older, like the people that are in them, and they're quite good. They don't get a lot of scenes, nearly as many as Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis, which is something brought up when we talked about the trailer. And it does leave the film kind of feeling like a bit uneven. And it's almost like you cut back to them sometimes. You're like, why are we even here? Because she's not giving them enough time for me to really care about what they're doing while this is going on.
Which is crazy, because technically those are the characters from the original film.
Yeah, which is, yeah. But then sometimes we cut back to them and there's they're doing a very good bit about like riding scooters and like how they can stand up straight, and they eat all this junk food because they're like, oh, my metabolism is so good now. And, the one who's supposed to be Jamie Lee Curtis is like, look, I can bend all the way over and nothing cracks. And, they did quite a good job at playing it up. I kind of wish I had more of it. So, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I think overall it's solid. It's definitely a enjoyable movie, especially if you like the original one.
All right. And then the other film that you watched, The Naked Gun, releasing in cinemas, not even this week. I think it's next week. But you went to an advanced screening.
When's it out? This Thursday? Is that? Yeah, so it was an early one. Hey, weird. Yeah, so Naked Gun is a legacy sequel to when was the first one? Let's have a quick look. 1980, no, is that the film? Yeah, 1988 is the first one, then you've got 1991 and 1994 for the second and third ones. Leslie Nielsen starring, what do we got? Lampooning?
Oh, no, technically, it doesn't open until the 21st.
What?
Yeah.
So the advanced screening was like 2 weeks before?
Yeah. But it's released in the US already, obviously.
Yeah, but still, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so The Naked Gun, which I think we discussed you've never watched.
No.
So it is like OG lampooning genre stuff. Like, so, think Scary Movie, all those Meet the Spartans, like that sort of stuff, right? Airplane before them, Leslie Nielsen got his like comedy chops in that. Naked Gun was a lampooning of, all these big police movies at the time, Heat and whatever else was super popular. This is very good. I very much enjoyed this, and I honestly can't remember the last time I had so many people laughing in the theater. And that's maybe because also they don't put a lot of comedies in the movie theaters anymore, which is a whole different conversation. But and especially coming off the back of Happy Gilmore 2, a film with no laughs, basically. If there was a laugh, it was a slight chuckle inside my head when Eminem showed up. This film is just, it goes to that straight bill of laugh a minute, a laugh every 9 seconds, whatever. Like, there is jokes they're just throwing them out. Like, they're not running out of it. Everything's a bit. And the movie is only 80-something minutes. Like, they stick this to the very tight runtime that you would have with these movies back in the day. So Liam Neeson plays the son of Leslie Nielsen's character. He still works at Police Squad, like this. I don't really remember which was the TV show name of which the films they were based on. Yep. Paul Walterhausen plays like the son of the Belvedere and all these other things. But basically, the plot doesn't really matter. Who cares if it's fine? There's a case. Pamela Anderson gets involved. Her character, she shows up. She's playing someone. Danny Houston plays the bad guy. He's having a great time. Everyone's having a great time. They've done a very smart thing of casting a lot of quote unquote like normal actors, like not actual comedians, which sort of, when they're doing these deadpan jokes, they make them very funny. But also, I don't really want to spoil. Like, my favorite bit, probably actually my favorite bit in this movie was a very Lonely Island skit, because of course Akiva Schaffer, the director, one of the members of the Lonely Island, right? There is a bit in this where they have a montage of Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson's characters going on a date, on a holiday like retreat, and it is just that hyper, not real, like it's, I can't even say it.
Unrealistic, over the top.
Yeah, proper Lonely Island nonsense, right? Very funny. I had a great time. But there's also a very good mix of classic slapstick comedy stuff that you would see in the original movies. The stuff you see in the trailer, the line about like, oh, so you did 10 years for man's laughter. Do you mean manslaughter? Oh, it must have been quite a joke, or like, have a chair, and then Pamela Anderson like just straight up takes a chair.
Yeah.
There's a part where like Liam Neeson's like beating up all these bad guys in a area, and the camera like switches to a side on view, and it's got like a counter above on the screen, and they're all like lined up like a supermarket, and they're all just like coming up to him. He's like karate chopping them all, and they're disappearing to the side, sort of thing. It is just throwing everything out. Like there's, you know, I don't even know how to. Even the title card is a joke. Like they just don't miss a chance to have a gag in this movie. So, yeah, I would highly recommend watching this. I think this is definitely one to watch in the cinema because there is something to be said about, like, I could have watched this at home and enjoyed it as much for sure, but there's that infectious nature of
The communal
hearing
element.
there's a communal, yeah, definitely, of hearing a lot of people laughing loudly every minute and every new joke, and it's sort of infectious and makes it a much more enjoyable time. So, and used to be a really good reason people go to watch comedies at the theater, but you know, straight on Netflix now.
Yeah. Yeah. I also can't remember the last time there was a great comedy in the cinema, like straight comedy.
I think most people say the last like true great era of comedies was like the run of Hangover movies and Bridesmaids and everything, and then like after that sort of died off.
Yeah, I'd have to. Maybe that's something we'll discuss next week. Last instead of top three, last three
Last three comedies that were actually good at the
cinema.
Yeah.
All right. I've watched a couple of the HBO documentary series. So I've started watching the Yogurt Shop Murders, which is innocuous enough title, right? But it's centered around a case called the Austin Yogurt Shop Killings in 1991, where 4 young girls were killed in a yogurt shop, and then the yogurt shop was set on fire. Massive, like, and also says they were raped, but that hasn't been addressed in the show. It's a 4-part miniseries. It being released weekly. I've only seen the first episode, but it followed. The documentary is obviously looking back at this case, but is mostly focused on how the events of that kind of shaped all the people surrounding it. I guess all the victims and like the victims' families and that kind of stuff. So it's like there's a lot of interviews with the people who worked on the case, the people who like there were other family members and that kind of stuff. The documentarian of this also got footage. There was someone who was working on documentary about the murders. Like I'm assuming during the 90s, because the whole thing is like done in 4:3, like so that footage kind of fits. So like you've got this other documentarian who kind of like I never ended up cutting it together into anything, but has all this like footage of interviews she did with like the family and that kind of stuff, and like so we get a lot of that used. Like I think the thing opens with like one of the accused, like who has been on death row for several years, has finally been let off because they finally figured it out that he wasn't one of the perpetrators, and like following him around the shop. Yeah, very interesting. Like obviously the first episode kind of delves into what actually happened and like the initial response and all that kind of stuff, and you have this very like at the end of the episode you have this very devastating like interview where the documentarian had interviewed the mother of one of the victims, and she explains like how the series of events happened over the night, like including her being informed that her 2 daughters had been killed, and then that she had to relay that information to several other people that night. So, pretty devastating. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting look at all these kind of people, like how these events kind of affected them and that kind of stuff. It's like very interesting. Obviously, shot really well and put all together all this archival footage and that kind of stuff. I'm very keen to check out the next few episodes. Because like set in Austin, like in the boom time for that city, and like this is a lot of people in this show say it's like one of the the things that kind of ruin the innocence of the city. Like, and it's an unsolved case. Like, and from what I heard, there's like no new information. This isn't one of those shows that like, here's the person who's behind everything. It's like, no, this is about the people who were left behind and how it's affected them and the city, I guess, as a whole. So, yeah, I would recommend checking that out. I believe probably by the time this comes out, the second episode will be available. So, check that out. And I also have been watching The Mortician, which is another HBO Max documentary series. 3 episodes. This one follows a mortician, for those who don't know, people who like take care of the dead after they die, like prepare them for funerals and that kind of stuff. It follows a man called David Sconce, who ran a cremation business for several years, like from it's like 1970, no, maybe 1980, through to I don't know, mid 2000s. But effective, like what he would do is like there was only a set amount of cremation services in the area. He would cut his prices below everyone significantly, so everybody would come to him for the cremations.
What do you do for business, you know?
So he would get more people coming in, but with so many people coming in, you know, maybe he started cutting some corners. Maybe he started, say, cremating multiple people at one time. You know, and then just, you know, how are they going to know that their remains are not there? You know, that kind of stuff.
Good point.
So yeah, he was pretty much running a very sketchy, very shady cremation business for several years, and like everybody was very sus on him and that kind of stuff, and he's doing very gross and disgusting stuff, like even to the extent where they would dismember or break people's body parts so they could fit more people into the furnace and that kind of stuff, and like they would also steal a lot of because obviously during that time, like people would have like gold fillings and like different like or have jewelry on their bodies when they were getting cremated and that kind of stuff, and they would steal and sell all that stuff. So very fascinating because they have him interviewed and he's like very much playing it off as if he's not a big deal. Like he's just you know, he's not really that guilty of too much. He's just kind of very much a sociopath and it's not like, you know, respecting the dead in any sort of way. So yeah, that's a very interesting watch as well. So Mortician, Young Short Matters, both on HBO Max, so check those out. That's everything in our watch history this week. Let's move into a little bit of film news. I guess unsurprisingly, given that we talked earlier about the success of a lot of horror movies this year, The Bloodline was not the final destination after all. On August 8th, New Line and Warner Brothers announced that Final Destination 7 is officially in the works, complete with Final Destination Bloodline's co-writer Laurie Evans-Taylor on board. Also returning producers Craig Perry, Sheila Hanahan Taylor, John Watts, Diana Mikungi, and Toby Emmerich. Warren Zide will serve as executive producer. Yeah, the news comes as the studio has yet another horror hit on its hands. The latest from Barbarian director Zach Krieger. That's already amassed $42.5 million domestically. Impressive movie for $38 million. Bloodlines opened to $51.7 million in May, off a $50 million budget. As of August 10th, that movie has gone on to tally over $138 million in North America and $285 million worldwide, bringing in a gigantic franchise haul for the New Line division of Warner Brothers. Dylan, thoughts on another Final Destination in the works?
Big mix because the last one was quite a lot of fun and proved to be something that people wanted. It does just feel like that. You know, you did something. There was something different enough about the last one. So are we now just will we just fall back into making something that feels very much the same rather than elevating what come before it because they're trying to, you know, rush to get another success out the door. So I don't know. I'm a bit mixed.
Yeah. You know, obviously early days. Would you be concerned if the directors aren't coming back?
I don't know. Depends on the new directors would be. I guess would depend on my overall thoughts. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I can't fault them for, obviously this franchise they hadn't had one in,
10 years.
10 years, and, suddenly it's all interested. Everybody's loving this new one, it makes sense. If you were to forecast, how is it going to be tied into this latest one at all? Brand new cast? Is it going to be a new death? Obviously, Tony Todd can't come back again, so what would your hopes be?
Well, the thing is, without, I guess, fully spoiling it, but the last one sort of said, oh, these are all connected, all of these, and they all come back to basically this family, which we cover in the last film. So if they did another one, they would almost be starting
Fresh,
or you're then covering another family as part of the lineage, the cause and effect lineage, that would have to have this, that would have to take place before this film, because the whole thing with this last film is they're the last ones to die because they kill in the certain order death comes for everyone, rules that the franchise is set up for itself. So, which would be boring because they have to then die. No one's ever going to escape. And I mean, a lot of the time these films ends with everyone dying, but there is still that
maybe
will they, won't they sort of thing. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like you would have to start a new line for death to come after, or something like that. But what you would do to make that stand out and be different enough, I'm not sure.
No, sounds like they've written themselves into a corner,
Kinda, yeah. That's the problem.
All right. Other news this week. Obviously, the next Star Wars film that we were all waiting for, Starfighter, got a big bad this week. Matt Smith is headed to a galaxy far, far away. The House of Dragon star has joined the cast of Sean Levy's Star Wars Starfighter for Lucasfilm. Sources close to the actor confirm he'll appear in a villain role opposite previously announced cast members Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth. Lucasfilm can not be reached for comment. This isn't Smith's first brush with Star Wars. The Doctor Who alum was previously cast in The Rise of Skywalker, but ultimately didn't appear in the film. We were close to being in it, but not quite happened. I think the thing that they were thinking of before the part became obsolete and they didn't need it, so I never got to be in Star Wars, he told the Happy Sad Confused podcast in 2021. He declined to elaborate on the role that he would have played, though many suspect he would have portrayed the son of Emperor Palpatine. Adding it was a really groovy part in concept. It was a big thing, a big story detail, a transformative Star Wars story detail, but it never quite got over the line. It was a big shift to the history of the franchise. Dylan, we're big fans of Matt Smith. What are your thoughts on him actually joining the Star Wars universe? Does this raise the stock of Star Wars Starfighter?
Well, I'm quite excited for it because Ryan Gosling's in it, so that's Ryan Gosling Star Wars is enough to sort of sell me, to be honest. So
I don't feel like that's what you were like when it was announced.
Maybe when they didn't announce it, but I don't know.
Warmed up and then Mia Goth got added. Yes.
Yeah, look, so far I'm very much enjoying this cast. So I think they're firing on all cylinders. Just hurry up and make the thing before it all falls apart like most Star Wars movies.
That's a fair point,
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Sean Levy has a pretty good record of getting stuff done. So
not Sean Levy. It's Lucasfilm.
Okay.
And Disney that I'm.
You're worried about.
Yeah.
All right. Dylan, this week, a lot of casting news. I figured it'd just be easy to cover it all in something we like to call Would You Want to Invest? Where I list off a bunch of different projects with new information, Dylan to partially invest, fully invest, or not invest in, and history will be the judge if he is right or wrong. So kicking things off, writers John and Eric Hober have sold Netflix on the pitch for The Leading Man, an action comedy based on the comic book series from Jeremy Horn and B. Claymore, to star and be produced by Kevin Hart and John Cena. The project brings the Hobers back to Netflix following the sale of the original script for Fast and Loose, and actually needs to star Will Smith, which is currently in pre-production, looking for a new director. In early development, the picture's logline is as follows. When a self-absorbed movie star, John Cena, discovers that his co-star Man in the Chair, Kevin Hart, is an actual agent. He's forced to swallow his pride and accept that action stars aren't really action heroes while trying to save the world.
Hell no.
I mean, John, this sounds like the same movie you're just in. With
Don't be pitching
just-
me these paper thin nonsense Netflix trash.
it's got big names attached.
I don't care.
All right. KJ Apa has signed on to star as James Stewart in a Jimmy, an upcoming biopic about It's a Wonderful Life legend. I've always been a huge James Stewart fan and feel so honoured I get to bring his life story to life. I'm best known for his role as Archie in CW's Riverdale's Ed Tuesday morning. Appa will... No. The Jimmy Ensemble also includes Jason Alexander as Louis B. Mayer, Max Casella as Frank Capra, Sarah Drew as Hedda Hopper, Julian Works as Second Lieutenant Martinez, and Jen Lilly as Stewart's wife Gloria. The movie chronicles Pennsylvania native Stewart's rise in Hollywood, including an Academy Award for his work in the Philadelphia Story before enlisting in the U.S. Army Corps as a combat pilot at the beginning of World War II. Not long after his return, he starred in Capra's It's a Wonderful Life in 1946.
I mean, I like the idea of the movie. I don't know if what's his face has the chops to bring that to
KJ
life,
Apple,
though.
yeah.
So, partial on this.
It only took 5 hours into a new studio regime for incoming Paramount Pictures co-chairs Dana Goldberg and Josh Greenstein to put some bounce into the Melrose lot. Deadline can reveal they have now closed on the town's hottest package, and their first shiny, bright new package will be the High Side, reteaming a complete unknowns James Mangold and Timothy Chalamet. Deadline revealed the project earlier in the week. It's based on an original unpublished story by Jamie Oliveira, who is also adapting the screenplay. It's heat meets hell or high water, mixed in with one of those Bruce Springsteen songs about a tragic brother relationship. Chalamet will play a former MotoGP racer haunted by a career-ending crash and a famously legacy of abandonment. He's running a garage and tending to his drug-addicted father. When his dad dies, he's drawn back into the world of high-speed risks and extreme danger when his estranged brother, already being pursued by the FBI, recruits him for a series of bank robberies on superbikes.
Fuck. That's a lot, hey. But you know what? Full invest.
Finally, Fast and Furious is back.
Yeah. Or you know what it is actually sounds like? There was a I can't remember the movie's name. It's Talk and something else.
Talk,
There's
yeah.
there's like those bunch of biker movies that over the 5-6 years there they kept trying to make biker movies, but faster, to compete with Fast and Furious. None of them ever took off, but I remember that scene in Talk where they like activate NOS or whatever, and they're driving through the street and they're just like fucking going like super speed through all these cars. It's ridiculous.
New Line has enlisted screenwriters Ben Zazov and Evan Turner to pen a Space Invaders movie inspired by the classic Taito arcade game. No word yet on specific as to the story they're spinning here. One of history's most iconic arcade games and one of the pioneering titles in the shoot-'em-up gaming genre, Space Invaders task players with defending Earth from an alien invasion, shooting down waves of invaders moving across the screen before they reach the ground.
No.
No. All right. Missing out. After hitting it big with the Sydney Sweeney Glen Powell rom-com, Anyone But You, Will Gluck hopes lightning strikes twice as he looks to have landed on another pair of young stars to light up the screen for his next feature. Sources tell Deadline that Monica Barbaro and Callum Turner are set to star in One Night Only for Universal Pictures. Sources also said that this film will bow on August 7, 2026. Gluck will direct this project based on his rewrite of Travis Bourne's Blacklist scripts. The script topped the 2024 Blacklist, and while it's unknown if Fox's version will stray from the original story, the draft follows two strangers who scramble to find someone to sleep with on the one night of the year where premarital sex is legal.
Sure, I'm down. She was a dream in the complete unknown, so sure, I'm down to watch her in a rom-com.
Yeah. Jonah Hill is circling to headline, write, and direct Cut Off for Warner Brothers. The movie we hear is about two rich siblings who are cut off from their parents. It's in early days of the project, hence there's no cast attachments. Production went ahead and notched a $10 million tax credit. Also, Kristen Wiig is attached.
How do we get these tax write-offs? Like, how do we do this?
You make a
I
movie.
just want to know how but they just seem to do it for everything, you know? Like, oh, it's just, we spend a bunch of money and then we can do it as a I don't know. I want to be able to do this. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
That's it, pretty much.
I'll pass them.
Well. And then the last one of these. Following a busy 2025 that included an Emmy-nominated performance and a Marvel Studios project, Pedro Pascal isn't looking to slow down, as he is in talks to star in Searchlight Pictures' pick Behemoth. Or Behemoth? Behemoth?
Behemoth is, I think, the word.
Yes. Behemoth with a exclamation mark. From writer-director Tony Gilroy. Searchlight recently came onto the project, which Gilroy will write and direct. Plot details are vague, but Gilroy has said in an interview that the film revolves around a cellist.
Look, I'll say this: you didn't have me. I was like, Pedro Pascal, let the man rest. I need a break from him. I'm getting there, you know. Like, just give me a little bit of space. Then he said Tony Gilroy, and I was back in. So, full invest.
Yeah, I thought it was cellist was the thing that John bought. Finally,
yeah, I'm secretly on the down low, huge Chinchillian.
Well, that's it for this week. We will wait and see if history was judged Dylan correctly or wrongly. But for now, let's talk about some projects that are a little bit closer in Thumbs for Trailers. Of course, we found all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, again, another strong week for trailers. We have Shelby Oaks, directed by Chris Stuckman, starring Camille Sullivan, Brendan Sexton III, Michael Beach, Robin Bartlett, and Keith David. A woman's desperate search for a long-lost sister falls into obsession upon realizing that the imaginary demon from their childhood may have been real. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Chris Stuckman's first feature?
Yeah, I like the trailer. I'm going to go one up, one down. I think that, there's a lot of intrigue on the project because of, famous YouTube movie reviewer, put your money where your mouth is, motherfucker, sort of, sort of it's going to happen with this one. But, there's also an element where he's had it picked up by Neon, this, this place that shoots nothing but gold currently. And if they saw it, I can't remember what festival it was now off the top of my head, but, they saw it, they went, yep, that's good. Injected some of money, we don't quite know, but made a bunch of reshoots to basically up the gore and the violence in some scenes that apparently they had to cut initially because they didn't have the money to do it the way it was written in the script. So, I mean, look, if the producers over at Neon currently are picking really good shit. So if they saw something in it, I'm, down.
Mm-hmm. So why one up, one down? Not two thumbs up.
Oh, it's just a fine trailer. I don't think it's
okay.
I think it's bad. I don't think it's great. It's just one up, one down.
Yeah, I agree. One up, one down. I mean, it looks fine. It looks like most horror movies. I mean, it is a little bit. It's a little bit artsy at the start. Like it's weird. It's got these long, lingering shots on just random parts of a house. It's like, really? Is this how you saw the movie? Come on. Maybe this is going for a tone thing, but not to be too picky. But yeah, I mean, it looks fine. Like, I don't know if they gave quite enough of like the premise in the trailer. Like, I don't know if it's clear that it's like there's this imaginary.
No, it's not clear that. It's just all you get from the trailer is it's a woman who's trying to find her sister. Yeah. Like it's about a sister trying to find a sister. Like,
yep. Shelby Oaks comes to cinemas on the 2nd of October. Next trailer is for Ellen McKay, directed by James L. Brooks, starring Emma Mackey, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Loudon, Kamal Nanjiani, Ayo Edebiri, Albert Brooks and Woody Harrelson. An idealistic young politician juggles familial issues and a challenging work life while preparing to take over the job of her mentor, the state's long-time incumbent governor. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Ella McKay?
Double thumbs up. I think it looks very, very good. This just has sort of wholesome dramedy vibes all over it. I think the cast is a lot of popular favorites at the moment. Bunch of people in here that most people like for different reasons. I mean, I didn't see too much of it. Then I was like, this just looks like a good time. This just looks like a wholesome sort of good time movie to me. So, James L. Brooks hasn't made a movie for what feels like 50
a decade,
years,
apparently,
sure.
I believe.
Okay, that adds up. Then yeah, sure. Double thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. This was a bit of a surprise. We love Emma Mackey from Sex Education. It was very much thrown when she says she's 32 at some point in this film, which I don't know if that's true or not. That can't be right. But yeah, obviously starts with a great scene of Woody Harrelson trying to talk to his daughter for the first time, and then just kind of crazily goes from there with all kinds of appearances, and Aya Edeberry shows up because apparently she needs to show up in everything. She's the most randomest person in this cast.
29.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to yeah, close enough. 29, 32.
Yeah, but they never play older. It's always it's always younger. Yeah, you don't get much of the political side, but that's the least important part. It's all about the main character and what's going on in her life, and this looks like a really good time. So, Ella McKay is coming to cinemas on the 11th of December. Next trailer is here for Fire Lakes, I Kick You. Directed by Mary Bronstein, starring Rose Byrne, Conan O'Brien, Danielle MacDonald, Christian Slater, and ASAP Rocky. With her life crashing down around her, Linda attempts to navigate her child's mysterious illness, her absent husband, a missing person, and an increasingly hostile relationship with her therapist. Obviously, we heard a lot of buzz around this one at Sundance. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You?
Yeah, I like this trailer. It's very good. I would say that when they were talking about it, everyone made it sound like this was a lot more, or at least from what I saw, I don't know, it just sounded like this was a lot more serious than what the trailer plays it off as. The trailer plays it off as a dark comedy rather than, I thought it was just a straight up, very serious drama. The posters, or at least the images that was always posted when people were talking about it, was like that one of Rose Byrne lying on the ground where she looks like she's having a fucking overdose or just a mental breakdown. You know what I mean? I think the tone sort of caught me off guard. Really big mix of different things. I think it's very interesting that you don't see the child. Seems purposeful, right? That you
potentially
you don't see the child, at least unless I missed something from that. But I don't know. ASAP Rocky's here. He will return again soon. Conan O'Brien's playing a serious role. I guess that's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, double thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me. Everything about this trailer was super engaging and interesting, and Rose Byrne looks fantastic in this. Obviously she's been doing a lot of comedic stuff lately. Obviously she had the Apple TV series with the
Seth
physical,
Rogen.
the Pilates or whatever one. Obviously doing the Seth Rogen thing, team up again recently. But this one looks a lot darker. I think
they just do that because they're friends in real life after neighbors, and they're like, we'll just
hang out. We need to do something so we can hang out.
It's like, we need a podcast so we can hang out. Oh, we need a TV show so we can
let's do a TV show because everybody's doing a podcast. Yeah, this looks really great. Conan playing very much against type and very much a straight person, which is unsettling in itself. Playing this creepy therapist. And what stuff is she going to check the internet with A$AP Rocky on? What stuff is he searching into?
ROM hacks.
Boring stuff. Alright. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You comes to the US on the 10th of October, comes to Australia on the 13th of November. Next trailer is for Rental Family. Directed by Hikari. starring Brendan Fraser, Takahiro Mihira, Mari Yamamoto, Shannon Gorman, and Akira Imoto. A lonely American actor living in Tokyo starts working for a Japanese rental family service to play stand-in roles in other people's lives. Along the way, he finds surprising connections and unexpected joys within his new family. So what did you think of the trailer for Rental Family?
Yeah, double thumbs up. Obviously, very interesting concept. Something that I guess you might consider high concept, but it honestly just feels like something that probably could happen. I've seen this concept in other things, to be honest, but I mean, this one seems to be taking a very Japanese-centric take, Japan-centric take on it, I guess. I also like the whole just like, what do we need me for? We need a stereotypical white guy. I'm like, yeah, Brendan Fraser is kind of stereotypical white guy, isn't he? So that works quite well. Yeah, great trailer. Double thumbs up.
Yeah, I think two thumbs up. Really interesting concepts, like something you haven't seen before. Brendan Fraser, like his charm is like infectious, and like it, he does enough to like get you invested, even though no other named actors, you would say. Everybody else is no other familiar actors, So yeah, really interesting. I don't know if this is actually a concept that is happening in real life, but if it's happening anywhere, it's probably happening in Japan. So
I've seen this concept in a couple of
I've seen the idea of it in things before, but I don't know if it's a real thing.
Yeah,
yeah, really interesting. So Rental Family comes to the US on the 21st of November, comes to Australia on the 26th of December. Last trailer for this week.
on Boxing Day, if you felt lonely, come watch a movie about renting it, getting a rental.
Yeah, if you've got no one for Christmas, check out this movie about a lonely American dude.
Yeah. Sure.
Highest to Lowest, directed by Spike Lee, starring Denzel Washington, Ifanish Hadra, Jeffrey Wright, A$AP Rocky, and Ice Spice. When a powerful music mogul is targeted by a ransom plot, he is forced to fight for his family and legacy while jammed up in a life or death moral dilemma. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Highest to Lowest?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's a very odd trailer, but I'm gonna give it double thumbs up because it's just like there's something in the way it's sort of edited together in like a particular tone, and like beat almost. It seems off. Like it doesn't. Like you could picture this trailer re-edited to what you would sort of expect a Hollywood trailer to look like, but I guess no, it's not. It's a Spike Lee joint. So, but I mean, it looks very interesting. Obviously, the cast just looks like they're having a great time. A lot of really interesting people in here, being led by Denzel Washington, who's, I mean, anytime Denzel Washington and Spike get together, it's usually a banger. So, yeah, very keen. Jeffrey Wright's got a Glock. Let's go.
So this is Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
Which you don't know, that's a massive insurance company ad. Jake from State Farm, he's always there. He's the best neighbor. Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me. Denzel Washington looks stunning in this. So, yeah, Academy Award nomination incoming, I suspect. Yeah, everybody else looks really great. Sounds really good. Like, obviously, he's a music mogul. If the soundtrack's shit, then it's going to be very off-putting. So,
yeah. It says new music by A$AP. I don't know if that means just one track or like they've made like done a full like. This will have like an album drop with like several new songs from him, Ice Spice, probably like I don't know, like Apple has the chance to get a very popular album that's also only streaming on their music service as well, I guess.
Yeah. All right, Highest to Lowest is coming to cinemas on the 5th of September, which isn't far away. All right, let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
And this week, a movie has finally come to Australia that has been described as life-affirming and feel-good. It's this week's top 3. Top 3 feel-good movies.
What was that? What was the movie? Freakier Friday?
See, I'm not going to give the hint away because then you'll name it when we do the next segment.
Feel-good? Okay. Yeah.
Dylan was number 3.
Number 3 on my list is Shaun the Dead. I'll be honest. I just did this as what movies. What am I like?
What makes you feel good?
What makes me
watching?
feel good? And I know I've brought Shaun of the Dead up in a lot, and we've done this similar sort of like list.
I suspect all the movies we're going to mention in this list will have mentioned
have come
at some point before.
Yeah. So I've mentioned before how Shaun of the Dead's like one of my most watched movies. Used to watch all the time when I was sick and stuff. It's just, I mean, just it's weird to say because obviously it's a horror comedy, but you sort of become very tame to the any no violence in it. Also because it's so over the top and silly and instantly quotable. And even the other day, someone said, I was at my parents' place, my Nan and Pop were there too, and they were talking about someone who used to live in England and go down to the pub or something. But just without even thinking, I just go, we go for the pub and wait for an old double over. And everyone's like, what? I'm like, nothing. Like just, so, a film that's always on my mind and always makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm. My number 3, School of Rock.
My number 2 is School of Rock.
Wow. It's just a dude who wants to make music and be in a band, even if it's to trick a bunch of school kids to do it. Super enjoyable, delightful cast. All the little kids are great. Jack Black being his most Jack Black, I guess, without it being overdone. Mike White just being there for random sake,
Well, he's in it because he wrote it, and he's like, I'll write myself a character.
I'll be somebody.
Yeah.
Delightful, songs really great. Yeah. What else do you want to say about it?
Yeah, it is the ultimate feel good movie. It's just about a dude who just loves music. He wants school kids to love and appreciate music the way he does, and life's not too serious. It's about having fun and rock and roll, man. What more do you want?
Exactly. My number 2, Princess Bride. One of my favorite films of all time. The ultimate fairy tale. So funny. So many great characters. Montoya, Andre the Giant. Old Billy Crystal's old weird dude. Was it? No, I can't remember one. So many ridiculous segments. Wallace Shawn and he's inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
And Australia gets a shout out for having one of the world's best voices. So, what more could you want? Great movie. All with the great bookends of the grandfather and the son, grandson, going over a storybook. Brilliant. Yeah. Did you know that people get upset that they can't get the actual original book to Princess Bride?
No,
because it's not a book.
Yeah,
it was never a book.
No, so people get what?
I want to buy the book, The Princess Bride.
I'm sure.
We've got copies of the screenplay. It's no, no, it was never.
There's
a book.
Someone on Etsy or something hasn't done a fake book or something.
Probably, a bookshelf. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what's number 1?
Same as you, Ashby. Paddington 2.
Paddington 2.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously we've talked about Paddington 2 a million times this podcast. It is the ultimate movie that'll pull you out of any depressive hole in an instant, and should be taught in medical schools for that power.
This movie should be put on in juvenile detention centers where little kids are being kept.
It'll turn people
around. Turn the kids around.
I think so. Yeah.
Set them on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
What do the kids? What do these kids need now more these days? More Paddington.
I can't disagree.
Stop locking them up, or if you are locking up, just make them watch Paddington. Paddington 1 and 2. The third one's fine.
Third one's fine, but Paddington 2 is the golden ticket.
Mm-hmm. Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
Well, that's a hard question, actually. I don't remember what's out because all I have in my mind is I'm heading to Melbourne on Friday, and I'm spending several days watching Myth movies. So to be honest, I haven't even really thought about what's
Okay, which of your Myth movies are you most looking forward to watching?
I don't know. Let me read out my list so everyone knows what to look forward to. So, where's my list? I'm watching My Undesirable Friends Part 1, Last Day in Moscow, which is a documentary that looks very interesting. I'm watching Blue Moon, which is I think it's Australian. Australian? Or am I thinking? No, sorry, it's a Richard Linklater one. I'm thinking different. Sorry, my film's confused. That's the Richard Linklater one.
With the trailer, I saw the trailer. Margaret Qualley and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke. It's the true story of I can't remember his name, but anyway, yeah, that movie.
Composer.
Watching Exit 8, which sold out its first screening, and they added another one because it sold out so fast. But that's the Japanese film based on the video game of this. I think it's the same name. Exit 8. It's like the infinite walking subway one where you like weird stuff walking simulator one that just took off on Twitch and everything. It's like it was one of those ones, and they've somehow turned it into a movie, but it's proved quite popular. So yeah, good for them. They're watching The Toxic Avenger, of course. The
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage. I was gonna say it's Peter Dinklage starring, but he's only voicing. Really, there's someone else in the. They were talking about that recently in an interview. Someone else is actually in the suit the whole time, but the revitalization of the Toxic Avenger series. And then I'm watching. What else am I watching? Watching We Bury the Dead, which is this is where we get to most Australian film. That's the Australian film that's set in Tasmania, starring Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Then I'm also watching Beasts of War, which I believe is a World War II movie in which there's like sharks and dinosaurs or fucking I don't really know. Like a whole bunch of weird shit monsters going on.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. And then the last one I'm watching is Splitsville, which obviously we talked about a couple weeks ago.
With Adria Arjona and Dakota Johnson.
Yep.
And the two dudes who wrote the movie.
Yep, who are like, we're pairing ourselves up
with these people.
Ladies. Yep. Yeah, so. So out of all those, what am I most keen to watch? I mean, honestly, sort of hard. I'm keen for all of them, but I mean, honestly, I was the pick one. I think Toxic Avengers is in IMAX, and I think watching that movie, given the genre of fun over the top horror, I think on the biggest screen with a packed audience, in that IMAX will be quite an experience. I'm thinking. So if I had to pick one, I'd say that because everyone will be having a good time. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Everyone going to that at fucking
they
9
know what
o'clock
they're
at
getting
night
into.
or whatever. Everyone's there for a good time. I feel, you know. So hopefully they're with my people. That sort of
not a bunch of film snobs.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd hope not for that. Outside of that, I guess. Sorry, I missed what was actually happening this week, but apparently, on the film front, I would be picking The Life of Chuck is finally in cinemas this week.
That's the movie I was talking about.
Is that described as feel good? Is it
feel good, life affirming, all that kind of stuff?
Okay, very good. Obviously, big fan of Mikey Flanagan, so keen to watch that. On the TV front, it's Alien Earth, sorry, which has been getting really good reviews last week when they started dropping from outlets and stuff. So feeling very positive about that. A lot of people comparing it to Andor, which is crazy to me. But yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Alien Earth is definitely the pick of TV stuff dropping this week. And I'm definitely keen to check out Life of Chuck. I will say there is the Genndy Tartakovsky film coming to Netflix. So this is the guy who did like Samurai Jack and the Primal show, animated show. He's got Fixed, which is about a dog that's about to have his balls cut off and having one last wild night before that happens.
I watched the trailer for that, and I don't think we talked about it. He did.
No, I don't think so.
Right? Watched the trailer. I was like, this looks like a very good mix of. At sometimes I'm like, this is funny. Then other times I was like, I don't know. I feel like you've just fallen into the bottom barrel of humor here. But also the trailer, maybe it was worse because it said Red Band. It definitely wasn't. They were muting all the swears and covering up his balls. But then I was like, is this a joke? Like they're saying it's Red Band, but it's covered up. And I don't know.
So, yeah. Keen to check that out. So, let us know what you're excited for this week. Are you going to the Melbourne International Melbourne International Film Festival this week? Well, let us know on Blue Sky at explosionetwork.com, or let us know on other social media at ExplosionPod. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.